Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Danny and you're watching Nerd on a Budget. And this is the 2K subs Q&A session. And before we get into all the questions, I want to say thank you for making this possible. I remember when I reached 1K subs, I was like blown away, and now we've taken that and we've doubled it. Thank you for viewing my content, for subscribing, and for leaving comments, questions, and feedback in the comment section below to let me know how I'm doing. If you remember a few weeks ago, I asked you all to ask me questions either in the form of Twitter tweets, YouTube comments, or email, or even in the form of a video. And that's because I haven't done a Q&A yet, and a lot of people have been asking me to do that. I have all the questions right here printed out because I like to do it old school. I want to be like, checking them off as I go along the way so I don't get lost and answer anything twice. But yeah, this is just going to be a fun session where I answer your guys' questions. So let's get to it. Alright, so let's start this off with the easy and basic questions. WolfTech asks, how old are you and where do you live? I may not look like it, but I'm actually 26 years old and I'm actually turning 27 this year, and I live in Seattle, Washington. Calvin999CK asks, are you an AMD guy or an Intel guy? Are you a NVIDIA or ATI guy? I actually have no brand loyalty. Whatever I can get that has the most performance for the lowest amount of money, I'm good with. David Bogdan asks, were you ever bullied in school because they considered you a nerd? And I actually wasn't, because at my school, even like some of the cool kids, they were into stuff like, Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and stuff. So me being into that wasn't a problem. WolfTech, Nice-on Senpai, Michael Jones, and Lawrence all ask questions either about my dream rig or my personal rig right now. And I don't want to answer that in this video, but I'll let you all know that I am working on a video where I talk about my current setup. And I'll probably do another video too where I talk about if I had unlimited amount of money, what would be my dream setup. I just don't want to do it now because they would take too long to answer, and there's so much detail that needs to go into all of them because there's all the components, and like the discussion would be too long. Mohammed asks, do you think that PC gaming is better than console gaming? And I personally don't think that it's better. I think they're made for different people, and if you're on the other side enjoying console gaming, I'm not going to dislike you for that. Other people do have a problem with console gamers and they like to bash on them, but I look at it like we're all gamers and we should be in this together. There are people out there who don't like gamers in general, thinking that it's a waste of time or it's for lazy people or neckbeards who live in their mom's basements, and they think it promotes violence and stuff like that. So I think we should be fending them off instead of fighting each other. The next question is from Tyler Tran, who actually sent in a video question.
Hey Nerd on a Budget, my question to you is, what made you want to start YouTube videos?
This was also asked by Elect New York, but what basically got me into making videos about computers is those are the two things that I really love doing. I love being on the computer, I love gaming, and I love just learning about them, but I also love video editing and video making. I've mentioned it before, but I've been video editing for about 10 years now, and this is just like the best clash of them combined. Lights Wrath Ultimatum asks, do you even lift, bro? Check these guns out. No, but on a more serious note, I used to go to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week, and I used to do all the standard lifts, like squatting, deadlifts, benching, curls, shoulder press, all that stuff. But as of recent, I've transitioned to doing more body weight and calisthenic type workouts. So that's, push-ups, planks, pull-ups, ab wheel, and I'm liking that a lot more because I can just do it in the comfort of my own room. I rock climb as well, so that's indoor and outdoor, and that's a really good workout. AJ on Twitter asks, what was your first computer, brand, specs, etc.? So what I consider my first gaming computer would be, like I think most people's, the family computer. And our family got ours at Costco. It was a compact Presario that was, the full tower, came with a keyboard, mouse, and a fat CRT monitor. I know it had like a 3.4 gigahertz Pentium 4 processor and like 256 megabytes of DDR1 RAM. And for the graphics card, this is what I remember because at first I didn't even know anything about graphics cards until Man Karate, actually, the guy who makes all my music. He came over and he was like, dude, you have a graphics card. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. That means I can run games well, right? But it was the GeForce 2 MX400. A somewhat amused British guy asks, when did you build your first computer and how good was it for the time? Well, I actually pulled up the invoice of the first one that I built, and it dates June 22nd, 2009. The GPU was an GTX 280 and the CPU was an Intel E8400. The CPU was, I think at the time, the middle for Intel, but for the GPU, the GTX 280 was pretty top tier. And then the next question by Captain Blubber, he asks, how did you afford your first PC build? So back in 2009, I was in college, and I was actually fortunate enough to have a scholarship from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And they not only paid for my tuition and books and all that, but they paid for my living expenses. This wasn't like a ton of money. They didn't just like throw money at me so I could live a lavish lifestyle. But they did give me enough money where if I budgeted it correctly in terms of, you know, how much money I spend eating out and how much I spend on clothes and all that stuff, I was able to set money aside and get my first build together using that money. I didn't need my parents to help for that, and I didn't have a job because I was focusing on school. The next question is from Zombified Gaming, and he asked it in the form of a video.
Hey Danny, did you ever feel like you weren't going to hit 1,000 subscribers? I always see people, big YouTubers, saying they've never thought they would hit a certain number, but then they hit it, and it's really, really exciting for them. That's my only question. Good luck, Danny, and good luck on your channel.
It wasn't that I didn't think that I would hit 1,000 subscribers. I thought I would eventually hit it, maybe after like a year or something. That was actually my goal, 1 year. But then I hit it within like a month, and that just blew my mind. I know there's so many other channels out there pushing content, and they're still in the hundreds of subs, so I was expecting myself to be there as well. But when I hit that 1,000, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. RZ Rocks asks, do you play Street Fighter? Who's your favorite character? Whatever gave you the idea that I played Street Fighter? This is actually an arcade stick that I got to play Marvel vs. Capcom originally. But I do play Street Fighter. I'm not really good at it. My favorite characters are Akuma, of course, and Sagat. But I'm not good enough at Street Fighter to be able to make a difference between the characters I choose. Like, if you gave me Akuma, Ryu, or Ken, I'd probably perform about the same with all of them. I played Street Fighter ever since the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but I never really got into it. Like, I don't follow the Evo scene or anything like that. I just play for fun. Sorry if you had higher expectations of me, I'm just a filthy casual. PokeNate14 asks, what would be a good comparison for the AMD versus NVIDIA competition using a Pokemon battle? One Pokemon representing each company. And he says, if you want to throw an Intel 2, I'd say go for it. So that's going to be hard to try to compare Pokemon to those three, but in terms of NVIDIA and AMD, I think I would have to go with Charizard and Venusaur, and this is for obvious reasons. It might not be the best ones, but this is how I connected it. So NVIDIA is known for, being more power efficient than AMD is. So that's, Venusaur, he's all about leaves, the environment, using less power, kind of goes with the environment. And Venusaur is green, and that is NVIDIA's, signature color. And then on AMD's side, you have it being well known for being, running hot and then consuming power, and that kind of represents Charizard, right? He's like a really powerful Pokemon, and he's red, so he matches the AMD color, but then he runs hot-headed, and he's fire, so that's how I made that comparison. And if we're gonna throw Intel in there because they're blue, let's just say it's Blastoise. But that's not a great answer at all. If you guys have a better answer to that question, actually, I would love to hear it in the comment section below. So Adam Weston asks, how much glass could a glass node push if a glass node could push glass? And he's referring to, in my videos, anytime I push my glasses up because they slide down, I kind of note it. And I went back through all my footage that I have, and this is how many times. "17 times, and I'm sure there's way more to come as I make more videos. Cowboy CSGO asks,
So question number one, Danny. When you make your thumbnails, I think you do really good at making your thumbnails, but when you do you purposely make the face that is like the funniest looking out of all the other frames? I mean, I don't want to be mean or rude or anything, but I couldn't help but make a comparison between each of your faces. Question number 2. If you could choose which lighting to have inside your PC, would you go with red, green, or maybe a different color than both of those?
In terms of the faces that I use for my thumbnails, I don't purposely, plan ahead of time to make them. As I'm editing, I pause so many times in editing, and whenever I come across a funny face, I just say, you know what, I'm going to use this. But thanks for, relating me to the meme faces, and I take no offense at all. But in terms of your second question, I'm definitely a fan of green builds, and you'll see in an upcoming video where I show my setup that my case is green. Actually, here's a sneak peek right now. Vulpus Lagapis asks, would you follow your passion building PCs into a real job, or would you keep it as a hobby or maintain the fun part about it? Also, what are you currently or plan on doing in terms of education, college? Grumpy Etha asks a similar question. So, what's your favorite color, jokes aside? What are you studying? So, in terms of the first question, I would love to do this as a profession. In terms of the second question, in terms of my college education, I actually am graduated from university. I have been for 5 years now, and I work a full-time job. When I entered college, I tried to do computer science or computer engineering, but quickly after taking my first Java programming class, I realized that I did not like computers like that. I love gaming on them, and I like using them, to make my life easier, but I do not like sitting there writing code. And I was decent at it, but there were so many kids in my class who were like, they've been doing it since they were in middle school or high school, and I haven't even seen it then. So they were just, 4-0ing all the classes easily, and I was struggling to barely pass. So after my first quarter, I switched to traditional engineering, and I have a degree in aerospace engineering. So the next question is from Karma Gaming, which was in the form of a video.
Hey Nerd on a Budget. What do you think your highest subscriber count is ever going to be? Would it be 100K, 1 million, 10 million? Honest answer. Bye.
Jonathan Berdusco also asked a similar question. How quickly do you think you will hit this large number of subscribers? And to be honest, when it comes to projecting the number of subscribers I think I'll get, I actually have no idea. I'd be so happy if I could even reach 100,000. I think I'm on track to be able to hit like 10,000 and in the tens of thousands, but I have no idea how long it would take me or if I'll even be able to hit 100,000. That's the end of the questions. If I didn't get to your question, then I'm sorry. I just didn't want to make this video way too long, but I will be doing more Q&As in the future, so we can save them for that. Look forward to my setup video. That one should be coming next, and I'll see you then. Bye.